Raymond and Bradley had been here for a while now. The nerves must be helping them stay awake. Raymond reviewed the many notes as the sun set. Just a couple of more hours till they could head in. They had both adjusted their head cams and shoulder lights. It was just to grab the final equipment now. Opening the van door again, the cold breeze rolls in. Crunching steps bring the nightmare of reality closer. A lone light stands guard, a warden in the dark. The fear sets in as he scans the windows. A slight pause occurs in his pride before stepping in. Nothingness washes over him. The sounds of a slight breeze leaves. Forward he steps, scanning his light from side to side. It sits heavy in his hand, sweaty and hard to hold. Opening a door, he feels chills go down his spine. He pulls the thermal from his pouch to scan the room. The ominous ticking of a weary clock partners with Raymond's mind as he searches. He can feel the sweat on his brow building as his heart begins to pound inside his chest. The door slams, and a familiar bleep goes off behind him.
Raymond? The EMF is going off.
Brad's excitement doesn't slow Raymond's speeding heart. He turns back to look into the dimly lit dining room, hoping something didn't stand behind him. His heart beating like a drum, he peeks into the room beside them and is just met with darkness.
I'll set up a camera here. We have to have video footage to expose anything that's suspicious.
Okay, Brad. That's a great idea. Brad's calmness doesn't slow Raymond's speeding heart. He turns back to look into the dimly lit dining room, hoping something didn't stand behind him. His heart beating like a drum, he heads towards the kitchen. The thoughts of what he was doing race around in the track of his mind. At this point, he thought maybe it was stupid to make his thesis on the existence of the afterlife. Creaking stairs with each step, and another bleep from Bradley's mudroom instills the fact in Raymond's head something is truly here in this house. It excites him that he's going to have proof of something, tangible evidence of the afterlife. Although, in his excitement, a core of fear sits. He hopes every room he checks doesn't have any temperature drops, or that the cameras don't pick up anything, because he is scared of what it could be. Hey, Brad, did you have any luck finding anything?
Just some really old and dirty toothbrushes. You want to take one as evidence?
Ha ha. Very funny, Brad. Can't you just take this a little serious? Raymond is convinced the mudroom is where the haunting is. He heads back down the stairs. He walks past the dining table again, looking forward to the eerily lit room. Raymond quickly peeks into the side bedroom and sees no chilling presence. He dips back and heads straight into the ghost's room. He hopes and prays for another sign. His grip tightens on the temp gun, but nothing of his hopes is brought to light. He walks out defeated and heads towards the dining room table. I'm gonna leave these here and go grab some more stuff.
No luck finding anything yet?
Walking back out the front door, a rush of relief pours over Raymond's body. Looking up, he can see the slight breeze is now rushing winds. Maybe that rush of relief was a gust. He saunters towards the computer screen, catching just a glimpse of Bradley coming up to the van. That's when he sees it. A small orb, floating in the darkness of the room. Is it a bug? Maybe. No, it floats. Bradley, we got something. Like really, something. We got little orbs. Bradley stomps over, his face in front of Raymond, staring at the screen.
They're just bugs. It's an old farmhouse. They're probably all over in there.
No, look.
They're just bugs.
Alright, well, let's get back in there. Make sure there's no bugs. Or maybe the camera's catching light from something. There's that light on at front. The lights just flickered.
It's an old house. It has electrical issues.
Raymond ran to the back of the van and looked into the house and observed the lights in the windows functioning completely normally. He runs back in. I think the electrical's fine, Brad.
Yeah, well, it's probably just the one room. A bad connection on the switch.
The door just swung open. The door, it just swung open. He slowly turns away, stepping towards the end of the van. Brad's flashlight shining bright in his eyes. The door just swung open!
The front door's open. Wind could have just blown through.
He thought that Brad was being a bit pushy, although he found it funny as Brad stood there waiting for him to go in. Raymond was excited, though. He pushed past Brad and into the house. He was on a high, a point of excitement, of truth and passion. He was ready for anything. Raymond, filled with the pride and accomplishment, he walks into the mudroom. He sets the book upon the washer, and he thinks to himself, if I just get some written proof, that would be a huge piece of the puzzle. A phone ringing causes the skin on Raymond's back to shudder as he jumps out of it. He quickly turns and looks into the adjacent bedroom where it had happened. See, more things happening, Brad.
It's just someone dialing the wrong number, Raymond. Like we have all these dot things up and they aren't even doing anything.
Well, that could just be that it can't interact that way. You know, certain spirits can only put their energy into certain things.
Yeah, well, I think it's all just coincidence.
Raymond turns to see the pen floating above the book, wildly writing, his heart beating in his chest as he watches. Brad, the book, it's writing, and the thumping grows louder, and he feels the beat of his heart pounding his brain.
Yeah, well, that could just be, like,
Raymond's heart is racing like a greyhound. Raymond walks away from the scene. The fear is now setting back in that something had written that. He is filled with twists of ecstatic excitement and frightening fear. He feels lightheaded and deprived of oxygen, his heart thumping like a stampeding rhino. Reaching the van's open back, Raymond calls to Bradley. Did you see that? That is proof. Raymond runs to the computer, trying to look at the camera, wildly clicking, but it's seemingly offline. I'm gonna note down what we have seen so far. Maybe you'll give us some insight on what we're dealing with here. Raymond flips through his book, looking for what he is dealing with. He flips through his notes, looking for something. Well, from what I can gather, it could be a revenant or a mare. If you can project through the spirit box, it's a mare.
What do you mean?
If it's freezing cold in there, it's a revenant. But I already checked in there with the temp gun. I'll grab the spirit box. When he picked up the spirit box, he knew what this could mean. Testing 1, 2. That's something or someone. Pick up my voice. Could interact with him. It seems to be working, Brad. Do you want to give it a try?
No, not at all. I'm gonna take a photo cam. I need to make sure we get a picture. It could be a magnetic field from the wash or something.
I'm grabbing this crucifix. It's supposed to keep us safe from bad spirits. Walking in with the old relic in his hand, he felt protected by its presence. That didn't stop the fear from filling his mind and soul. Heading back into the house, the emptiness clashes with Raymond's clear mind. He marches on, though. Moving closer, he watches the door swing open more. He feels threatened by this motion, and he quickly tosses the crucifix into the room, pulls the spirit box out. Is anyone here? His clear mind filling with scary signs, but he watches the spirit box decline in response. Where are you?
I'm here.
The clear mind overflows. Raymond panics. The racing greyhound in his chest heard the shot and ran. Did you hear that, Bradley? Both of them taking the quickest route like electricity in a circuit. As they exit, Raymond shuts the door, closing the fighting presence. Both of them panting, the greyhound still running. Did you hear that?
Must have been some sort of radio talk show coming through, and it was distorted or something.
The thoughts now run free in his mind. He had a voice come through on the spirit box. It was clear and demonic. Overwhelming excitement of true proof is fantastic. Although, the nagging voice in the back of his head reminds him how demonic the voice sounded. Are you there? Where did you go? Again, panic sets in.
Yeah, I'm here. Just peeking in the windows.
As Bradley's flashlight turns to face him, Raymond releases his breath. He turns away back to the van. I noted on the whiteboard that we should try to detect it on the motion sensor. Maybe cleanse the area. This is a motion sensor, right?
I'm not sure. I think so.
It's also saying our sensors are reading low. We should take those supplements we got.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'm gonna take the salt in, see if it walks through it. Maybe we can get some footprints. Do you want to cleanse the room?
I'm just taking a camera for the footsteps, if there were some.
Okay, good idea. We'll come back and cleanse. Raymond's excitement dwindled as he walked closer to the ominous door. Fear filled his heart and mind. The demonic voice echoed and rang repeatedly in his head. He wasn't ready anymore. He didn't want to know what made that voice. It wasn't friendly, and he knew that now. But his feet kept walking. He swallowed his frightened soul and carried on. Before taking a final look at his set, the dumb slat slams shut as the action starts. Lights pointed directly on the salt pile as the steps begin. Thumping on the wood, Raymond moves in to shoot the scene. Look, Bradley! Footsteps! Quick, grab a picture!
I think there's a way to explain what's going on here.
And the book! Let's get one of the book, too. Raymond heads out of the room, the fear silenced again by proof. Let's head out again.
I'm just grabbing another picture.
Okay, then we should come back and cleanse the room right away. As they walked out, Raymond had almost forgot about the demonic voice. He wonders if the crucifix made it mad, or maybe it was the only thing keeping them safe in there. Maybe the cleanse will make it more angry. Either way, he felt like he had accomplished so much in his first night. His first exploration. This made huge headway on his thesis. I think we should try and get a picture of whatever this is, Brad. I'm gonna grab a camera too.
So if I cleanse the spot, it should help keep us safe?
Yeah, it should. Alright, let's go. Pep in his step, he ready to get his final evidence. Photo proof of whatever this is. He knew this would be dangerous. He knew this demonic entity was no longer happy with them. The chattering fear was back as he walked in.
So I just light this and walk.
Yeah, that's all. I'll have my camera out in case something happens. Bradley walks in front of Raymond's light, right into the den of despair. Raymond admired Bradley's boldness. Raymond walks in, mimicking his friend, scanning the room, his finger resting on the button, ready to snap as soon as something shows itself. But nothing. They scan around, moving back into the hallway and peeking in the adjacent bedroom, but nothing. At this point, it felt calm. Raymond could feel the blood slowly flowing through his body, that unique feeling of clarity. He was waiting for something to happen. He could feel that something was still there, but just nothing would arrive. Raymond walking back into the room, he could see more footsteps in the salt. He still holds the camera at the ready, but he feels as if the cleansing could have calmed the calamity. He He speaks out. Can you show yourself to us? We aren't here to harm you. We're just documenting your presence. But his request is met with emptiness.
Maybe we should take this as a sign to leave.
Maybe you're right. They walk out together, a team. Raymond wonders if this moved Bradley to the side of the believers. If this is something that he now could appreciate the fact of existing. Raymond wondered if whatever was here had left now. But the looming thought of something watching him leave made him rethink that choice. In the end, he believes they got lucky. Lucky to be alive. Now that he could collect his chaotic thoughts and take a breath with his guard down, he realized he was scared the whole time. The excitement and the accomplishments were just masks his fear wore. Masks that let him make it through the night. Visages that may not be there in the future. He noted down the last piece of his information. Bradley closed the door.
Hey Raymond, how about we take a selfie for our first exploration?
Yeah, for sure, Bradley. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on our first episode of the Phasmophobia story series. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like. Also, if you want to see more episodes as well as other game stories, feel free to subscribe. Also hit the bell icon. Lastly, leave us a comment down below on whose side you sit. Raymond's excitement of existence, or perhaps Bradley's strict skepticism. Thank you again, and we hope to see you next time.